What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of the Viall Files Going Deeper edition. I am your host, Nick, and this is obviously an episode we are all excited to listen to. Jeremiah Brown is our guest. We are happy to be the first to interview him and lots to break down this episode. Obviously, things happen fast at the villa, and so sadly, my wife and co-host, who's usually here with me for our Going Deeper episodes, is not with us. She's traveling today, but we wanted to make sure that we got this interview out to you as soon as possible. So Jeremiah is coming to you shortly. If you are new to the Viall Files and you are here to listen to Jeremiah, a little bit about our show. We're here 4 days a week. On Monday, if you're into relationship topics, we have our Ask Nick episodes. A lot of people call in, share their relationship problems and stories. We offer advice. People find it very helpful. Check it out. It's binge worthy. Every Tuesday and Thursday, our reality recap episodes covering your favorite reality TV shows like Love Island, your favorite pop culture topics, and we interview a variety of guests from reality TV stars to celebrities, musicians, and more. And on Wednesdays, we have our Going Deeper episodes, which you're listening to right now, which is our long form deep dive interviews with some of your favorite, again, celebrities, reality TV stars. And that is with my wife typically and me. So we had Jalen Brown yesterday on Reality Recap. Tomorrow we will have Hannah, but today is all about Jeremiah Brown. So much to get into with him. And without further ado, Jeremiah Brown. There's that face. Can you hear me, Jeremiah?
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Nick. How are you?
Nice to meet you, man. Big fan. I'm excited to talk with you. I appreciate you taking the time, buddy.
Thanks so much for having me. I definitely recognize your face now. I see you.
Okay. Well,
I was like, okay, I've seen him before.
all right. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Well, Jeremiah, I appreciate you joining the Viall Files. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks so much for having me, man. I'm happy to be here.
I guess as a start, how are you feeling? I mean, I say this to every Islander I talk to, but I'm always just kind of blown away by this experience that you guys go through where you enter the villa, obscure people. Some of you guys have followings more than others, but that being said, you come out international stars. I know it's Love Island USA, but this is the show that's being watched around the world. Megan Thee Stallion's a big fan. You got all these major celebrities just enjoying the show, talking about you. Where is your mental health right now? Is it all are you still coming off the sadness of your unceremonious exit, or what is it like? Yeah, what is it? Just what's going on? I'm trying to get a sense of your headspace right now.
Honestly, my headspace is I'm definitely leaning towards more gratitude because I ain't gonna lie. When I came out of there that first night, I was pissed. I was trying to keep it calm, cool, and collected leaving, but I was pissed because I was like, damn, my comeback story, got cut short. They just seen how happy I was. I was doing things, right this time. And I still got the boot. So I was like, damn, bro, I was low-key mad. But then the more, I'm talking to my family, I'm talking to people here, and they've been amazing. So now I'm just grateful and excited to see what's been going on because I don't know. I've heard bits and pieces, but I don't know a lot was going on because I still don't have my phone. But yeah, no, I'm just right now, I'm just gratitude. That's all I can
Well,
really
that's
say.
good that you're in that headspace. Yeah, it's I have a lot of respect for all of you guys because I just don't think people fully appreciate it's just not normal what you guys go through, right? It's just first of all, getting famous on reality TV is a trip already, but you guys, you're getting famous in real time. Most people, they go on a show, they film it, they get done, they go back to their families. That's just a whole whirlwind. They get some time to get back to normal. Then a few months later it airs. That's a whole different experience, but you kind of prep for it, right? You can, and then you can be
Yeah.
with your family while you're online, and then here you just come out, to the fucking noise, and it's crazy, man. Well, before we get into all the Love Island stuff, I wanted to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah,
I think people are dying to know who's Jeremiah Brown. How did you end up on
yeah.
the show? Everyone's got an opinion. People come out of the woodwork and be like, I know that guy, I know this guy. So I just love
Oh, okay,
people to
okay.
hear it from you. So let's just start with the obvious low-hanging fruit questions. How did you, Jeremiah, end up on Love Island?
How I ended up on Love Island. Basically, I had just moved to LA 2 years ago, and they reached out 2 years ago, but I had a girlfriend at the time. So I was like, I can't do it. I'm in a relationship, da 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 da. But then they reached out after we had broken up. Well, she broke up with me, I can say. She broke up with me
Okay.
a month after. And I was like, you know what? This would be just something just to get me back out there, just to get me back out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, it seemed like a cool opportunity. I've seen, couples come out of it. And I was like, okay, this seems like an actual legitimate thing to do. And yeah, I got a DM on Instagram. I was like, let's do it. And then, I just kept progressing through the things. And it just kind of kept me after getting broken up with, you're kind of sad. So it just kept me like something to like hope for, hold on to, I guess. And it kind of
Okay.
got me on my funk because I was like, okay, let me go, not date around, but talk to girls to get myself back in the flow. So
Did
yeah.
they like follow up with you because they noticed like, oh, this guy was posting with this girl and now he's not posting? Or did you kind of hit them up, be like, hey, well, I'm single now?
No, they reached back around. That's why I have so much respect for them because they double checked. They're like, "Hey, are you single yet?" Okay, basically, right, in a respectful way. And then
Yeah.
also, one of the producers, Ben, I work with this jewelry company, Jackson, and like he gets the emails, and he was like, "Who is this guy?" So it's kind of like a two in one. Like he wanted to know who I was, and then they'd also already reached out to me.
At that point, you were pretty like dead set on like, like, hell yeah, like, let's do this if they ask me.
Yeah, for the most part. I ain't gonna lie, it's pretty scary because I'm like, damn, I don't want to go in there and embarrass myself but I
Sure. Yeah.
at the point I was just like, I am who I am. I feel like I've done a lot of work on myself. So if I go fuck up, then that's who I am, I guess. So I was just like, let's do it. It seems like an amazing opportunity. Once in a lifetime, like being one of
Yeah.
five, it was just like the biggest blessing I ever could imagine. So
Were
that's where
you were you a fan of the show? Like, did you watch it much, or were you just like kind of familiar with? Like, what homework did you do going in?
Oh yeah, I was definitely familiar because my little sisters, and actually all my sisters have watched the UK version and a little bit of the USA.
Okay.
Because when I sent them the DM, they started freaking the hell out, and I was like, what's going on?" Because I've like walked by them and they've been watching it. Like I'll hear the accents, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" So I've seen it a little bit, and then I was definitely familiar with it. I watched 3 episodes of season 6, and I was like, I think if I watch any more, I'm gonna psych myself out of it. So I just watched 3 episodes and was like, let's go see what
Yeah,
this is
right. It's
about.
always like a balance between like it feels like Ace did a lot of homework. Sorry, Ace, I was a little bit of a dick. But yeah, it's a balance between like knowing what you like, knowing what you're getting into. I always tell people like in reality TV or like certainly I always tell fans, right? Because like a lot of fans will love to be like, well, they know what they signed up for. I'm like, when it comes to shows like this, you have no
Mhm.
idea what this is like until you experience it. Like it's just if you know, you know, and if you don't, like no,
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
watch a million shows and like it's just not the same being in it versus like being a fan of it. And like it doesn't matter what your contract says, it doesn't matter what a producer might say to what you can expect. Like, going there and being in that crazy environment is no one knows what it's like until they set foot in that universe.
yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. You mentioned earlier that you've done a lot of work on yourself, and like
yeah,
obviously this is a show that it's fun, it's scandalous, it's messy, but it's a
yeah,
dating show, right? And like
yeah.
everyone who watches this show, like why we love these shows, why we will love reality TV is because like it's a fantasy way to like look at dating and like in real time culture, right? And I think obviously fans, and I hope you remember this when you get your phone back. It's just like listen. Fan is short for fanatic. So whether someone's there telling you how great you are or telling you you're a piece of shit, they don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? They're just fans. They don't know, right? But we do as fans because everyone who's watching is projecting, right? They're just projecting like they're watching it because either you remind them of someone they dated that screwed them over, that you remind them of themselves.
Mhm.
We like to watch you guys make fools of yourself or like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know be vulnerable because it's just easier to watch you do that than like look in the mirror and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But that all being
yeah.
said, like your fans, I think a lot of people who are fans of you, here they saw that. How old are you again?
25. I just turned
25, right?
25.
So they saw this young man in his 25s, good looking guy, right? Like, I'm assuming you've gotten this before where like, you got a face card where it's just like he's probably a douchebag, like he's too good looking not to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe hell, like, when I was, your age and I was young, I think, when you have opportunities, you have to cut your teeth and you have to like take your bruises and you have to like look in the mirror and reflect on like, I think we all make mistakes dating and things like that, right? So I'd love to hear a little bit about your dating story about like, for
Yeah,
me, like when I was, in my early 20s, I was like a serial monogamous, right? I was kind of like a love martyr. Like I had these like parents who like had a great relationship and they taught me a lot of good things about love, but it was almost like
mhm,
I almost like took it a step too far. I was fighting too hard for relationships. I was like
yeah,
falling in love too quickly. I know people are throwing the word like love bomber around in 2025 and like
yeah,
it doesn't mean what it used to mean back in the day, but like
yep.
I was falling fast, right? I was getting caught up in my emotions. But that being said, I'd love to learn about you in terms of like what was Jeremiah Brown like when he first started dating, like late teens, early 20s? Like how did you carry yourself in relationships? And when you mentioned doing the work, what did that look like? And what kind of steps in your mind did you think you made?
Oh, it's young. Okay, I would say in college, like I never dated. Like from like I didn't have a girlfriend till I was 22, 23. So I just like would find a girl I liked and just talk to her for like 6 months, talk to her for a year. Like I hated labels. I hated like and I didn't hate, but I just didn't want labels. I wanted all that freedom that came with it. Like anniversaries, didn't want to do any of that. And then I finally got into my first relationship, and then a month in, I cheated, and I didn't know how I could do that because I prided myself on, oh, I read books. I'm this guy. I'm the best. So yeah, like two years ago, a month into my relationship, I cheated and I had to look at myself in the mirror because I'm like, oh, I like trumped myself up my head to be this great guy. And I was like, okay, how come I didn't have the strength to say no to this girl? Like what made me like not strong in that moment? So I was like, I got to figure this out because not only did I hurt someone I loved, I hurt myself. So then I went to therapy and I'm still in therapy for like 2 years now just to see like what was going on. So that's what the work looked like, 2 years ago,
Okay.
started therapy.
Now, I mean, if you're comfortable talking about it, like when you say you cheated, like, did you like have sex with someone else? Like,
Yeah.
did you come clean? Like,
Oh
how,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, how did it all
Oh,
play out?
so boom, it's my one of my best friend's birthdays, and then I invite my two like friends, like my genuine friends of homegirls that came over, and it wasn't pre-planned or nothing. And then we all got super. I don't want to blame it on alcohol, and I don't want to talk about the alcohol part, but we all got super lit, right? Went out to the club, came back, and she followed me into the bathroom, and I didn't have the strength to say no. I could have said no, I didn't. And then it happened, and then I walked out. I called my mom because I didn't have my car because it was in LA. I said, "Mom, come get me. I fucked up." Da, 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 da. And it was instant regret. Got home, drove and told my girlfriend immediately. Like 3 hours later, I told her what happened, and then yeah, we broke up, got back together, and then yeah, I just started therapy and just started working on myself because I was like, how could I have done that when I thought I was this great guy?
It's obviously not cool what you did, but obviously, like, not everyone comes clean right away, and more than that, more people just feel like as long as they say they're sorry and then they talk about doing the work and they don't do the work, and like credit to you for like jumping into therapy
Yeah, thank you.
and trying to actually make take actions to like
Yeah,
improve yourself. Like, you're gonna
thank
make a
you.
lot more mistakes in life. You're only 25. Like, all we can do is just, try to get better, obviously, we'll talk about you, Hood, in a little bit on, but, like, obviously, she's caught a lot of heat for, how she's carried herself too, but, like, I've been Huda, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've maybe not, like, exactly how she's done it, but, like, I you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I've been like fucked up from love and shit like that. What are you comfortable sharing in terms of like what you learned about yourself through therapy in terms of like just kind of understanding yourself? Nowadays like we watch these shows, a lot of people want to like
Mhm.
diagnose these characters like attachment styles, things like that, or just maybe even understanding love languages, how we connect with our partners and things like that. Like what did you learn about yourself in terms of like how you receive love, show love, things like that?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, being a model is a lot about attention and like I've had freedom for 23, 22 years of my life, being able to do whatever I want. And I hadn't had to flex that muscle of saying no, not even to make an excuse, just I didn't have to flex that muscle of saying no, especially being, messed up. So it was the more the fact like, yeah, just having to flex the muscle of saying no and not having been in a real relationship and like learning like, okay, like you have to make not even sacrifices, but like if you're in a relationship, that means you're saying no to everything else. And that's what makes this yes so much better. And so at the beginning, it was just like not needing attention from other people because I love attention. Like I always like in high school, like
Sure,
whether
yeah.
even when I was ugly, I loved attention because I was a class clown. So it was just like needing attention, being ugly, needing attention, looking good. And then now like the latter part of the work was just like getting rid of like the guilt and the shame because I carried that guilt for like over a year and a half of what I did because it really messed me up because like how could I do that to someone? So I carried that guilt for like a year and a half. And then that part was like the main thing was like not lighting myself on fire to keep other people warm. And that's what I did, like the latter part of the relationship of just like trying to do too much to make up for what I did like 2 years ago. And
Sure.
so that was like the last part of the work was just like putting myself first and like self-trust and getting rid of self-doubt and like self-love and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's tough too, right? Because like you enter a relationship, people want to know like, have you ever cheated before? It can follow you like a
Yeah.
scarlet letter, and it's just like you want to
Yeah.
own it, but at the same time, you want to be like, man, like, do I have to fuck? How long do I have to talk about this shit?
Yeah.
Here you
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
talking about it now. It seems like you're processing it in a healthy way. Like, how long ago did your last relationship break up when the conversation about going back on Love Island started?
It was February. She broke up with me February 8th. Damn, I'm okay. I shouldn't have maybe I should have took more time recognizing that. February 8th. And they hit me up at the end of February.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, cool. How long was that relationship?
Like a year and a half, August 2023 to February
Did did
2025.
did, did you give her the heads up that you're gonna go on Love Island or no?
Nah, we had each other blocked at the time. We had like a really like we broke up and then we had a really like solid ending. And then
Okay,
one day it just got yeah, then one day it kind of we just blocked each other and everything. So
okay,
she had no idea. And honestly, I don't know what is going on with her either. I hope she's good though.
okay. Yeah, but you got nothing but love and respect. I'm assuming.
Oh, for sure. No, she's amazing. Like I wish her the best. She's gonna do great. Like she's amazing.
We're not big on trends, but we are big on clothes that feel good and last. And that's why we keep going back to Quince. Natalie and I absolutely love Quince. We have been Quince customers for I don't know how long now. It seems like, well, forever. Because they have staples, they have unique pieces, they have things that last. It's such a great selection. They have a great lineup of linen. They have their cashmere sweater, which we've raved about over the years, but also their staples. They're well made and they look great. Quince has everything you actually want to wear this summer, like organic cotton silk polos. Those are really great. Great on the beach. They breathe really easy. European linen beach shorts and comfortable pants that work for everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners. The best part, everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. By working with top artisans and cutting out the middleman, Quince gives you luxury pieces without the markups. You'll be shocked how great quality and the selection you have with Quince, but the prices will blow your mind even more. Also, they're just really unique. It always feels like every time I go shopping to like storefront stores, it always seems like the same pieces. Not with Quince. It's a great selection. Men, women, they have everything you could possibly need. Also, Quince only works with factories with safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices with premium fabrics and finishes. The one I have been raving right now is their organic cotton silk polos. I love, again, like I said, I love the way they breathe. It's been super hot this summer. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's absolutely perfect. It comes in a bunch of different colors. Absolutely get them. You will love it. Stick to the staples that last with elevated essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL. Wayfair. You're probably looking around your house and thinking you need to elevate some rooms. Maybe your outdoor furniture. Now, we've talked about our teak table we just got from Wayfair. It's absolutely stunning. You can have it too. Check it out. I mean, it's amazing the selection that Wayfair has. Truly everything. I mean, you can get like pizza ovens. You can get furniture. I got stuff for my office. Well, the Viall Files studios, we've used Wayfairs for our coffee tables, side tables. It's absolutely great. Everything that you could possibly want, Wayfair has. You want to make every room in your house feel like it's yours. You want to make it like custom made just for you. And that's exactly what you can do with Wayfair. In addition to the teak tables, Wayfair has everything you need to level up your outdoor space. They have patio sets, they have lounge chairs, outdoor bars and hot tubs, fire pits, gazebos, and of course, string lights. We also just got this beautiful umbrella from Wayfair. You know, it's really hot outside. Like River wants to play outside. It's nice to like keep her in the shade, so you can like enjoy the outside while not getting sunburned or too hot. It's absolutely great. They also make everything easy. They can even build things for you, set it up. It's amazing what they can do at Wayfair. Wayfair's huge selection of outdoor items make it easy to find exactly what's right for you. Also, just if you think if there's something that you've been looking for and you can't find it, go to Wayfair. Chances are they'll have it. I mean, my mind was blown when I was like found out that you could just buy outdoor bars just from Wayfair. It was truly shocking. Find all your outdoor must-haves from seatings to garden trestles to pool lounges to trampolines, all in one convenient place. Make your backyard the entertainment destination for your neighborhood. And if your backyard is set, again, any room in your house can be upgraded at Wayfair. Don't wait. Make your outdoor space, or really any space in your home, your dream oasis today with Wayfair. And enjoy it all summer long. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. When Love Island started getting into the show a little bit, like you and Huda started out hot and heavy. You know, obviously she seemed to drive a lot of that as well. But like you also, like, I mean, we're 5 minutes into the show and you were like swerving other girls. And I'm like, this is fucking Love Island. What the fuck is this guy doing? Like, what Like, huh? And, so like your critics out there, this guy falls fast. He's love bombing. I don't know. Again, like, I don't think
Yeah, I
people
get it.
nowadays are using the word love bombing accurately. Like,
Yeah, at all.
it's not just because someone says I love you in the first couple weeks because they get really excited and infatuated with somebody. But that being said, again, like I was a young man who like, I really wanted to like emulate my parents' relationship. I wanted to be in a relationship and I was very
Yeah.
picky. But when I liked a girl, and I would just, does that, I feel like that kind of relates to maybe how you were a little bit, or am I off there? Like, were you falling fast the same way you kind of carried yourself in Love Island, in other
Uh,
relationships, or, what was the reason for you kind of coming in there and being so focused on Huda?
Honestly, like that's not who I am at all. Because I've only like been in love like 2 or 3 times. Not that I was in love with Huda or even told her I loved her,
Okay.
but yeah, no, like I've never been that type. Like we're not with my first girl, my only girlfriend. We started talking in January and we didn't date till August, so it's like 8 months, you know. But with Huda, it was like I'll tell you why I did the cheat kiss. I didn't they could steal, right? And I was like, me and Huda had this crazy electricity between us. And I was like, I kind of panicked. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. I panicked and I was like, what can I do to not get stolen? Okay, I can get the cheat kiss. So it wasn't even that I already liked her that much. I just didn't want to get her stolen to keep it a stack. I was like, I want to really
Okay.
explore this. And then once we had 2 or 3 convos, I was like, holy fuck, I really want to explore this. And then not gonna lie, like we got this was a mistake on like both our part. We got really intimate really soon, and that kind of set us up for failure, like for the rest of what happened. But yeah,
And when you say intimate, like you guys had sex?
I'm not here to kiss and tell
All
out of
right. I
respect.
respect
We got
that. All right.
real,
Got to
we
ask
got
the questions.
intimate.
All
Yeah,
right.
I get it, man. We got real intimate real soon, and it kind of just like skipped a bunch of steps, and then that's what led to yeah.
Okay. And is Huda like similar to women you've dated in the past, whether it's looks or personality? Like what
Yeah,
made you vibe? What was that vibe that that felt so strong? Where do you think that came from?
it was definitely like her gaze and the way she like when I think my favorite part about women is the way she looks at me and her smile. And like her smile and the way she looked at me was just so enticing. And then we had a lot of conversations about like values in the beginning. I'm not gonna be rude, but I kind of got like emotion fish. Like she said she's emotionally mature in her values. So we lined up on a bunch of those. So I was like, okay, cool. She checks all my physical boxes and a lot of my spiritual, emotional. So why would I go? And that was where my head was at. Not saying it was the right thing to do, but I don't regret it. But yeah, I was like, okay, she's so fucking dope. Like I'm not gonna ruin that and go talk to girls I'm not interested in. That's where my head was at in the beginning.
Okay, that makes sense. You were kind of caught saying like early on, like, oh, if we win, and then you kind of corrected yourself. I mean, make it to the end. So then obviously, like, honestly, I think it's kind of. I mean, half most of your cast comes in with like a heavy following these days.
Yeah.
That being, yeah. So like, I don't know. I kind of like. I think it's almost like stupid when fans like, like they came here to be famous. It's like they are on a TV show. That being said, like, yeah, like do you feel like in any way you were kind of gaming the game or playing the game or like or certainly any more than any of your peers?
No, because for me, as you can see in the episodes, I can't fake shit. So when I was really unhappy and I was really messed up, I couldn't just say, let's stay together. Because I could have, like, I'll just say, like, the door recoupling. I know Iris isn't really my type, and I know she isn't really my type, but I still chose her. And that was like a roll of the dice. Because I could have just chose Huda and made that relationship work, but I can't fake shit. So, no, I wasn't really gaming the system. I didn't even look at it like that. Because I feel like if I was, I would have some plan Bs and some plan Cs, but I just kind of dove into one girl. So I personally don't see it like that, but I can get it like, oh, he's just so focused. He must just be here to win. But as you can see, when I was unhappy, you know what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
I hear ya. So in terms of like you and Huda, obviously, like I mean, you guys were. I don't know if you know this, but like people were tuning in to watch you too. Like love you
Oh,
or hate you guys, like whatever they
yeah.
thought about your relationship, you guys were must see television.
Oh, shit.
Because it was honestly like so toxic so fast. From your perspective, like how much of the show have you seen it all? Are you not seen any of it? Like,
I've seen a couple episodes. I watched almost all of the one I left on, and then
okay,
but I watched like I skimmed through most of them. So I've seen
okay.
some of them, but most of
So
them.
I guess I mean obviously when it comes to shows like this, even though there's an episode almost every night, there's a lot we don't get to see. So one, like from your perspective, when did things start getting a little rocky? And then two, we'd love any context of like important information that, what didn't we get to see when it comes to your and Huda's relationship in terms of like
Yeah.
why things kind of took a turn the way they did.
That's a great question. Honestly, things were amazing up until the day I call it the pancake day. We won't get into it right now, but the pancake day. Things were amazing until the pancake day. So we had like a week, I think, maybe 8 days of just like it was fire. Like, yeah, there were some minor things, but like we had so much genuine, like just such a crazy genuine connection off the rip. And where things started going south was like I told her who I was in a relationship. And then she kind of took that as who I need to be now. And I didn't nip that in the bud. So I take responsibility. Like I didn't sit her down and be like, yo, like that's not who I am. Instead, I said, you know what? You're right. Let me be Superman already. Cause it takes me a long time to get to like, super boyfriend. And I was like, oh, in a relationship, I do this. And she took that and was like, okay, that's who you are now. And I'm
Okay.
like, the
Well,
same way.
can you clarify what do you mean by that
Yeah.
in terms of like what you actually said to her in terms of like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So I was just like, I do the little things. I do the flower. I just told her how I was in my last relationship. Like, the flowers, the restaurant, like anything like what a boyfriend does, like the cute things. I said I do all that. And then she was like, okay, bet. And then like the day after, she's like, why are you doing any of that? And I was like, wait, that's why I'm in a relationship. But I didn't say that. I said, oh, you're right. Let me go try to do that. So I think I tried to be Superman instead of let her know, like, that's not who I am. That takes me months to get there, Like, that's not who I am in like 3 days into the villa.
Yeah.
And that's where the expectations just didn't get set right, and then the intimacy got way too much, and I didn't say like, yo, I'm not comfortable with this. I just tried to be Superman, and that's where it really got toxic.
So, like, obviously, Love Island has its own lingo. It's obviously has its own set of rules, right? This whole like, are you closed off? Are you not closed
Yeah.
off? You're in a couple, but you're not closed off. People are like hooking
Mhm.
up, but you're not closed off. Like, then all of a sudden you're making out with your friends during the challenges and things like
Yeah.
that. Two-part question: like,
Yeah.
what conversations did the entire group, if any, have about like how this shit all works, in terms of like
Mhm.
expectations or like what were expectations of the group, but more specifically, you and Huda,
Yeah.
like how did you guys navigate, because like Huda, it seemed like Huda was just like, this is my man. We were in
Yeah.
a relationship. We were a boyfriend and girlfriend. We were absolutely going to get
Yeah.
married. We are we are in love. And like, listen, I don't know. Like, if you feel
Oh,
it, you
boy.
feel it, right? Like again, in the
Yeah.
real world, I mean, I've gotten in a relationship 2 days in and stupidly talked about like planned our future. Like I've been that fucking guy, right? I'm not gonna
It
fucking
happens to
fall,
the best of
but
us.
like this is also in a world where you're making out in challenges and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
did you and Huda ever like talk about like expectations of how you guys were gonna navigate, especially once you guys were like so hot and heavy right away?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, well, within the group first, like, they've like for 2 weeks told me do this, do that, do this, do that, and I'm kind of like my own person. Like, I love to just do it. Like, I can't fake nothing, so I can't like go pull a random girl for a chat because they tell me to. I was like, all right, for sure. So for 2 weeks, I was kind of like battling the guys. Like, no, I'm good. Like, I want to explore this. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And then at the same time, I'm hearing like me and her get into it, but our expectations were just like the baseball challenge was the first challenge I think that really like she didn't like how I had to kiss a girl or I got to kiss a Maya, but at the same time I would do little things to try to make it not that bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of pressure, like, okay, let me do the challenge this way so I don't get yelled at later. Let me do the challenge this way so I don't get in trouble. And then we got to a point where it's just like before the lumberjack challenge, we're like, you know what, we're just gonna enjoy the challenges fully and whatever happens, happens. Like we're gonna, we're still like, not locked in, but we're still really close. But we have that freedom now to enjoy the challenges.
Okay. And how did you guys come to that decision to change up?
It was kind of just like, we're here to play the. I forgot what happened. Oh, she got really mad at the me kissing Amaya at the goddamn baseball challenge, and I was just like, yeah, like I'm not gonna go through this the rest of the show. Like we gotta like the challenges are for the challenges. I want to participate. I don't want to be the guy. Like I gotta be myself. I can't just go into a challenge and just hide and do the cheek kissing the rest of the show. Like I gotta go be myself and show people like who I am. I'm a fun guy, so it's like it was just like that. It was like we both gotta participate and like be here to be here.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's, I mean, I remember that first challenge and like, I forgot who like jumped up and I'm like, he's not even, I'm like, how, like these people can operate this way. Like it's like, it's Love
Yeah,
Island.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
holy cow. So I guess like yeah, just you and Huda, like, I think there's a lot of, if you're a Huda stan, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously she's caught a lot of heat, right? And
Mhm.
there's a lot of people just like not understanding the way Huda's moving and things like that. And I'm sure people are anxious to like hear her perspective on things. But there's always like the Huda stan like they're of the perspective like she's gonna come out of the villa or you're gonna come out of the villa and it's gonna be like a bad edit situation, right? Like, oh, we didn't get to see certain things, like,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Do you feel like overall, while they can't show everything from what you've been able to see or from what you've heard or understand how things were shown, do you feel like ultimately the show captured the dynamic of your guys' relationship?
Respectfully from what I've seen, yes. Like I still have a lot, I still care for her very deeply, but there was a lot of instances where we were just talking and she would, crash out. And I have nothing but respect for her still, but it's just like, yeah, it was pretty accurate. Because there's some moments where I'm watching myself and I'm just like, bro, get up, like don't take that. But when you're on like no sleep, it's hard to like know if you're in the right or the wrong. So I feel like that's why it took so long in my conversations to see like, okay, am I in the right here? Am I in the wrong here? So that's why like you'll see me take a day or two to have extra conversations with her just to make sure I was, I like to see things through to the end. So I wasn't just gonna give up on the first fight. So, but it was
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
accurate. It was a crash out.
watching you again, I'm a fan. I'm, obviously, so maybe I'm biased, but like I saw someone who it makes sense that you're in therapy. You seem like you're an introspective person, right? Like at times you reminded me of me when, like you seem to like do your own thing and walk your own path. And like, I've always dated women with big personalities. Like they're,
Yeah.
different, there's a spectrum of big personalities, but like
Mhm.
I want to be understanding, right? And as a man in 2025, right, we get a lot of notes, right? Ways
Yeah.
where that men haven't behaved well in the past, things like that.
Yeah.
How we need to step up and how we should maybe listen more than speak and things like that. So honestly, I saw someone like you who was just like, people like your critics would say you're not necessarily good at communicating your feelings. I saw
Yeah.
a person who was just like kind of not sure how to move from one
Yeah.
moment to the
Yeah.
next because it felt like you were getting a ton of notes. But like, if
Yeah.
you were trying to understand your critics, what ways do you think you could maybe have better communicated with Huda, if any way at all?
I totally see where they're coming from. And like the main part is that when I felt things were moving too fast and the expectations were too high, instead of communicating that that was too much for me, I did the opposite and said, you know what, I like you so much. I'll try to be that person I'm not ready to be yet. So that makes sense. Like I dead ass didn't communicate my feelings. So they're right in that regard. At the same time, it is hard because when you're on no sleep, it's like, okay, I don't want to like look like an asshole. I don't want to, do the wrong thing. So it's like you do try to be more patient with everybody else and put other people first because you don't like it's hard to have a clear mind of like, okay, am I tripping, is she tripping? So that's why I feel like I was extra patient and kind of like not went above and beyond, but I was like, okay, let me really hear her out for hours and hours to make sure I'm like seeing who she is as a person. So yeah, but no, I definitely didn't communicate this is way too fast for me, let's slow down, because I liked her so much. I can own that. Like that was
Okay.
my main mistake, was not like telling her like let's slow down.
No, I appreciate that answer. Hoda revealing that she's a mom was obviously a main storyline and a big moment, not only for the
Yeah.
show, but for you guys. I guess first, like, do you wish she would have told you sooner? Or are you comfortable with like the time and how she, opened up about her being a mom?
Honestly, it's hard to say because I have no idea what that is like in her shoes, and I don't remember how soon she told me. But honestly, I wasn't mad at her for not telling me yet because I feel like I get it. Like you don't want to come in here and say it's two sides. Like you don't want to come in here and say you have a mom because everyone's gonna think of you as that. At the same time, like you want a chance to be yourself and not, but at the same time, you do have the kid. So like I see both sides of the coin, but I wasn't mad. I was just really caught off guard. Like I wasn't like mad that she like hit it for a couple of days, but I was like, I did get to know her, and at that point we were good. So it's kind of just like, oh shit, okay. Like it wasn't like,
Okay.
no.
Normally, my wife is in these interviews. She's traveling right now. She had a lot. We're new parents.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. And as a guy, I was like, listen, Huda can like reveal that however she wants. But as a
Yeah.
mom, um, my wife, Natalie, she, you know, uh, I wish she was here to articulate this, but like from her perspective, she just felt like it sounded kind of odd that when Huda talked about having a daughter, it was always in the lens of, she always like centered herself. She was like, I'm a mom, I'm a mom, I'm a mom,
Yeah.
as if it was like, in a way, when you're saying when she opened up to you, it was almost like, "Hey, I'm a mom. I don't want you to think of me any differently, or certainly like not be any less attracted to me." Understanding like, hey, as a mom, there's certain different responsibilities. Like it's not the same as like dating a 20-some-year-old like without a kid. But
Yeah.
it almost seemed like the way she communicated it is if she expected like preferential treatment in a way, as opposed to like,
Yeah.
when Natalie says she like talks about our daughter, it's like I have a daughter. It's always like my daughter, like, my daughter does this. And
Oh
Huda was like,
yeah.
I'm a mom. I'm a mom. It's like, did
I see what
you
you're
see
saying.
it that way? Or like after hearing, again, like I got no notes. I'm communicating, from my wife, but like, does that make sense? And were there other people in the villa that maybe like didn't quite understanding how Huda was, you know, handling communicating being a mom?
Yeah, I totally see what you mean now because I watched the episode the other day and it was like she's just like me. She likes what I like. She's da 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 da. And it was like so not to bash on her, but like it was a lot of self-centeredness now that you mentioned that, which makes a lot of sense. Because my sister's had a baby and it's all about the baby. Like she'll say she a mom, but then it's all about the baby. So yeah, now that you say that, it was definitely like a lot of I'm a mom. The daughter's just like me. I do this for her. I do that for her. I do this. So it's like yeah, I kind of noticed that in conversation with her, which is why I kind of like started to move because she didn't really ask me questions about myself. That's a different topic. But yeah, I see what you're saying now. That definitely is true.
You've got some criticism from people who wanted you to like ask more questions about her child. Did you ask more questions and we just didn't get to
Yeah.
see it, or do you feel like maybe you could have handled it a little bit better now that you reflect on how that situation went down?
Honestly, most of the time we did talk about her, but I remember we talked a lot about her daughter at the date, and then we talked a lot about her daughter on the pink couch conversation. We had a pink couch conversation for like an hour before Ariana got there, and we talked about her daughter for like 30, 45 minutes, like right after. And then after that, shit went south, so we didn't get to talk about it. But yeah, we had at
Okay.
least two or three conversations talking about her daughter.
I thought it was like kind of, I mean, again, it's, it's her story. So I get that she had certain ways of wanting to handle it, but like the way it was like, okay, I'm gonna tell Jeremiah, but then I'm gonna kind of and I'm gonna tell the women, and then I'm gonna like then I'm not gonna tell the guys, but then oh you can tell Nick. It's just like that seemed hard to keep up with. I did you ever ask her like why she decided to go about it this way? Because it just seemed almost like I didn't understand it. Like I get, yeah, like I didn't understand why she was so selective and secretive about just like, I mean, hey, you're a mom. Like I get it. Like I get the reservations. Like I understand that. Like I'm sure there's a lot of listen, a single mom, a kid. Not a lot of people are up for that responsibility and challenge, and I'm sure like that can feel like a lot of pressure. I totally understand that, but like at some point, just like own that you have this beautiful child and like just be a great part of who you are. But like, what was that like for you?
It was interesting at first because at first I'm just like, I have no idea what that's like. So like I kind of just removed my judgment and was like, okay, let's see how this goes. So then she told the girls, and then I found out, and then I had to wait a couple of days to talk to Nick about it. So yeah, it was interesting, but I guess I see the fact that she just didn't want to be known as the mom at first and wanted everyone to see her for her. So I totally get that side of things. But it was like curious for me navigating that because I couldn't say stuff to certain people about it. But I mean, that comes with it.
Okay. When America voted and recoupled you with Iris, what was that moment like? Because at that point, I'm like, what were you guys? There was cracks in your relationship from your perspective at that point?
Yeah, definitely none that I've really got of. It was the same thing. I didn't vocalize like these expectations are way too high for me. Like we're not dating. Like I was basically in a relationship when we weren't dating, and I didn't say anything about that because I liked her, and I was like, okay, let's just keep going. And yeah, so once America did that, at first I was pissed because I felt me and the Huda just had a really long talk at the fire pit about just how we're gonna move forward, and then we got recoupled, and then I was like, as you can see, I'm just like, what the? I was so caught off guard because I was like, okay, and once Jalen and Pepe went for their recoupling, okay, oh, I'm good. And then once America did that, I'm like, okay, they're seeing the shit I'm feeling, but I'm not vocalizing. But I don't want to be like, I don't want my ego to take over and be like, Huda's a problem. Yeah, America's like got my back. So I had to like slowly try to pull out what America saw and make sure I wasn't just being like da 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 da. So yeah, once I seen that and I had the emotions I felt when it was Charlie or Huda leaving, I was like, okay, yeah, like there's something amiss here that I need to communicate more for sure.
That night, something I definitely have to give you shit for, and I
Yeah.
didn't understand why you couldn't do that, but like
Yeah.
it seemed like a weak moment for you
Yeah.
to
100%.
not pull Huda and like check
Yeah.
in with her, and you were just
Yeah.
like, I just want to go to my pillow or my bed or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you got to say about that?
No, that was by far a weak moment. I was very, I guess, disappointed with how I responded to things, but I just know being there, I just shut down, and I don't really have an excuse whether it's the sleep or the whatever I was going through, but I just shut down. I told her that, and I apologized for like 2 hours about it. But yeah, no, I definitely just shut down. It was definitely one of my weaker moments. I wish I could have been there for her, but I wasn't, and I just have to own that. Like I shut down, and I
All right.
wasn't
No,
I wasn't there
listen,
for
I
her.
get it. Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for you, but I
Yeah,
think one thing that people don't see on that show is the emotional and mental fatigue that all of you are dealing with 24/7. You
and
got no support system. Like, yeah, you get avocado toast, but I'm sure it's just, you just do not have the comforts of home. But anyways, you said, you apologize for 2 hours? Is that what you said? Or did I understand
well,
you correctly?
yeah, we had a conversation the next day, I think, in the speakeasy for like 2 to 3 hours about like
About
just like
what?
word. Just like I apologize. She basically was like for the first 2 hours, actually for all of it, it was like 2 or 3 hours, honestly, like maybe even four. But it was just like me apologizing for not showing up. How can we move forward? And then her just saying she's hurt the whole time. Like there was no, because I'm a conflict. One, I'm gonna apologize, validate your feelings, and then I want to conflict resolute, or at least try working towards that. But really, the conversation, the speakeasy was just about um, just how she felt, and we
Yeah,
basically,
to that point, I hear what you're saying. It was, I mean, my one of my frustrations with Huda, like I'm always trying to watch this like with this empathetic lens and like, just
yeah,
I don't know, like again, I was on The Bachelor long ago, so like I have
yeah,
empathy for
yeah,
all you guys, and I know what it's like to, watch something back and be like, you don't understand, like and shit like that. But watching Huda, it was just like, to your point, like it's tough in a relationship where the person you're in conflict with, like every response is about their feelings. Cause like we're all entitled to our feelings. I get it. But like I don't feel the same as you. So like how can we better understand? And it was always just about her feelings. Like I guess what I'm asking is like everything we saw in terms of her doing that, that felt very, that's how you felt in the villa. Like that wasn't editing or anything, like
yeah.
them taking like two times Huda talking about her feelings. Like, was that a theme with Huda where she would constantly center her feelings when you guys were dealing with conflict?
Yeah, respectfully, yeah, it's hard because I want to like badmouth her, but respectfully, yes, it is a lot of even I can say this because even the girls and Hannah and they all said this when they talked to her. It was like, yeah, respectfully, it's a lot of I in any conversation. It's a lot of I. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
listen, I get it. And I'm asking the
yeah,
questions. I know you
yeah,
want to be a
yeah,
gentleman here, but like I think again, like that's why we watch these shows. We appreciate, like you're clearly not coming in here to like talk shit, and things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I do appreciate you being upfront and trying to walk delicately with these answers. That being said, like if Huda were here, right? Like, what do you think her response would be? And I guess like, what is your optimism that Huda's going to come out of this and kind of like be like, oh shit, like I kind of see what other people are seeing now, or I see what Jeremiah is seeing. Do you think she has that self-awareness and that ability to grow, or do you think it's going to be a challenge for her when she gets out?
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt and say yes. I think maybe when she watches it back, she'll realize like everything, almost everything she said was rooted in I, or I maybe did this, or I might have been toxic, or I might have done this. So yeah, I think she'll come out of here and see some things. I know that I'm seeing some things about myself too. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that I hope she can come out of here and see some things where it's like, oh shit, okay, maybe that was kind of crazy.
Initially, when America matched you with Iris, it was like her narrative, at least what we saw, was her being like, "Yeah, you must be doing shit behind my back, Jeremiah, because America's
Yeah,
trying to protect me." Now, granted, like in
yeah,
fairness to Huda, like Alandria, I think like kind of like planted that
yeah,
seed. Obviously, the girls were just like having her back, and like, but
yeah.
she really took that bait, so to speak. And then again, is that how it felt in the villa? Like how much of that 4 hour or 2 hour fight conversation was her trying to like, trying to figure out what you were doing wrong?
No, yeah, she said that. She was like, you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing, and America saw that, and that's why they took you, and this, that, and the third. And like she was like, when I make After I say this, actually, I'm trying to be an asshole, but she was like, when I say cute comments, you make faces and people see that. But the cute comments are jokes about kids or marriage. So she'll say a joke about kids or marriage, and I'll be like, what? Like da 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 da. And she'll take that as me not being liking her as much as she likes me. So I'm like, I already lost at that point. But yeah, it was just things
Yeah,
like that. Like,
yeah.
oh,
Okay, yeah. She's like she's talking about your wedding, and you're not responding the way you want it.
yeah, yeah,
She wanted.
exactly, exactly.
So before we move on from Huda, like I guess like what are your final thoughts on that relationships? Like any regrets? I know like you have no regrets, but like just being
Yeah,
a little bit more reflective.
yeah.
How would you want people to like just feel about that relationship, or just make whatever thing clear, for people who have a lot of opinions about your guys' relationship?
Okay, I would say one, it was very real and very genuine off the bat. It got a little toxic due to me not nipping in the bud the crazy expectations that she had set for me early, and then the communication at the end was just not being perceived well. When I was trying to de-escalate and she would kind of crash out. But at the end of the day, yeah, I just know that moving forward, like what I learned from it is not being intimate too soon. And then when I feel something about this is moving way too fast, instead of just like dealing with it or trying to be Superman because I like the girl, to be like, whoa, like I'm not comfortable with this. But at the end of the day, it was very real, and like we still have a lot of love for each other. But yeah, just our communication styles, I'll just say that, are a little different.
Okay. Lately, I've definitely been trying to eat cleaner, and just as a family, we've been trying to clean up the way we shop for groceries. Not just for our health, but we like to save money too. Also, it just sucks to like go grocery shopping and stand in aisles and like, I always feel like I'm grocery shopping at like high traffic times, and that's never fun. But that's why Thrive Market has been game changing for us. It's an absolute total game changer, getting the same high quality brands that we love, but for less and without compromising our standards. Thrive Market is like your favorite health food store, but online and way more affordable. I'm talking about premium brands like Primal Kitchen, Annie's, Simple Mills, all delivered to your door and up to 30% less than what you'd pay at traditional stores. The savings is truly remarkable. Everything they sell is non-GMO and meets incredibly high standards. They actually banned over 1,000 ingredients that are still allowed in U.S. products. That is really the peace of mind all parents want, especially when they're feeding their little ones. We certainly do, and we have definitely been more conscious about the ingredients in our food ever since we've been parents. The site is super easy to shop. You can filter by diet, like gluten-free, paleo, keto, low sugar, which that's about the kick I've been on lately. Vegan, so you're not wasting time reading every label. Well, we always avoid seed oils, and personally, I have been, again, trying to reduce my sugar intake, and it makes shopping for things that I like while making sure there's not a lot of sugar in those ingredients even easier. And as for shipping, it's fast and carbon neutral. Plus, when you sign up, you get to pick a free gift worth up to $60 with your first order, which, by the way, is a pretty great way to try something new. So if you're looking to upgrade the way you grocery shop and make life easier, all while saving money, skip the junk food without overspending. Head over to thrivemarket.com/VIALL to get 30% off your first order and a free $60 gift. That's thrivemarket.com, THRIVE market.com/VIALL, thrivemarket.com/VIALL. Grammarly, save time with your company and probably money with Grammarly. You pay your people to whatever they went to college for, who knows, but you didn't pay them to like reread emails and proofread things. Let the technology that AI is using help your team be far more efficient, write better emails, communicate more effectively. You can instantly generate well-written drafts with AI to get your ideas down on paper. 90% of professionals say Grammarly has saved them time writing and editing their work. Grammarly sets up the standards for responsible AI that you can trust. AI-powered tone features can help you communicate confidently. You all know how like you're fast, you're in a rush, you send an email and it kind of sounds too sarcastic or not as professional as you need. Let Grammarly help your team do that even more effectively. Write and edit quickly with content-aware suggestions everywhere you write. 93% of professionals report that Grammarly helps them get more work done. You deserve to be equipped with the best tools to do your job with the right AI support. And if you're like me, you're dyslexic, can't spell, don't know where commas go, it's amazing what Grammarly has done for me and my company. Let Grammarly take the busy work off your plate so that you can focus on high impact work. Download Grammarly for free at grammarly.com/podcast. That's grammarly.com/podcast. Grammarly works across more than 500,000 apps and websites, so it's super easy to integrate with whatever your business is running on. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose, only something to gain. Time, money, efficiency. You'll be glad that you did it. You've waited too long not to try it. Try it now. When you got dumped off the island, you guys actually, you had a final conversation, and she said that she truly thought that she was going to end up with you. Do you feel like if you had not got dumped, that she was going to still try to pursue you and end up with you?
It's hard to say. Honestly, it wouldn't have mattered for me because the stuff she been saying about me, that's the thing that really like took me out of it was that night that we got recoupled, that she was calling me, a bitch and a liar. And if I made her food, she'd shove it in my face. And I just don't do that. Like, that's not how I treat people. Like, I don't do that to people. So I was like, once I heard that, it was like, no matter what she said, it was kind of over with, even though I tried a couple more times just to see what was going on. But I don't think she would have, honestly. Actually, I'm capped because she did until I don't know how much y'all saw, but literally every day up until I left, she would try to, talk to me or kiss me or do something like that. So honestly, maybe, but I don't know what bombshells they would have brought in for her, but I don't know, honestly. Probably, maybe.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, and I keep saying I want to move on from Huda, but
no, you're good.
that night that you match up with Iris, where Huda like got out of her bed and sat in the hallway, and the next
Oh, I felt
morning you were
so
like, "Hey,
bad.
I'm sorry I couldn't go to you." What did you mean by that when you apologized to her that you like couldn't go there? And I'm glad you didn't, because it felt like she was like, playing, running game, and just like wanted you to go out there and chase her. But like, what did you mean that you couldn't go out there?
Like once we're in our beds, we're supposed to stay in our beds. I think I can say
Gotcha.
that. Like once we're in our beds for the night, you stay in your beds for the night and you don't go to other people's beds or, you know, essentially.
Understood. That makes
Mhm.
sense. That being said, do you think she was hoping that you would not abide by those rules?
Yeah, there was a lot of times we almost got in trouble for like some rule breaking stuff. But yeah, it's hard to say because I'm like, I want to be there for her. But then that was the same night I heard all those crazy things she said about me. So I was just like, that's where I kind of draw the line. Like, I already been so patient, in my opinion, for some things. So, but when you're calling me out my name to your friends, like screaming, I'm a bitch to your friends, I'm just like, I can't do that.
Okay.
Like, I can't.
One last final Huda question. America got to see Huda talk a lot of shit about like some of the women, like Amaya and then Iris when she came in. Were you guys aware of like how she was like talking shit about like the bombshells when they came in? Is it like a threat to you?
Yeah, no, day one of Amaya, she definitely told me how much she did not like her because she made a comment about me or something. Because it's like half scary, half cute. I'm like, oh, you really care about me, but oh shit, okay, that's kind of crazy that you're doing all that. But yeah, she definitely let it be known day one and two that Amaya was there. She did not like Amaya. And then not too much about Iris, honestly. I can't remember if she said too much to me about Iris, but I just know like my first conversation with Iris, I kind of shut it down. Like I was like, oh, me and Huda are really good, da 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 da. But I don't remember her talking too much shit about Iris to me. But I
Okay.
could be wrong. I
All
just don't
right.
remember it.
Oh, and then like the S&M date where she was like, "All right, lock it up," when you were making out with the bombshell. Like, did
Oh
you see
my
that as like
God.
her like fucking around, or like did that feel like she was being hypocritical?
Yeah, no, that day, see, these are the cracks where like I didn't fully recognize because I'm so worried about some other shit. But like just things like that where it's like not even a double standard, but just like scary shit like her. Like I just watched the episode yesterday, like her like doing that crazy shit. It's like that would have been cute if we were dating or like months into a relationship or like closed up, you know what I'm saying? But like her like going crazy with the two guys and then me like me and Iris is barely kissing and she's like, all right. She said like, all right, bitch, hurry it up or something like that. To me, I'm just watching it back and I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is
Yeah.
not healthy. This is not healthy at all.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the boys for a second. America has
Oh
a lot of
gosh.
opinions. Before we get into the boys, I want to play you something that I thought was like it's gone viral. This is essentially how America feels about the men who voted you off. I want you to watch this clip, and then we'll go. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Hit it, Leia.
Snitches and rats are not the same thing. Let me break it down and make sure y'all see what I mean. A snitch is someone minding other folks' business to find information they can sell for a price or trade for some other form of compensation. A rat is a traitor, a deceiver,
Yeah.
planner, or physical participator. He doesn't sell secrets for power or cash. He betrays the trust of his team
Oh my
or his
God.
family, hoping to save his own cowardly ass. The difference is At least a snitch is human. But a rat is a fucking rat.
God damn. Are those the real numbers?
Yeah, man, it's
Oh my
it's
God.
it's all yeah. I know it's got like millions of views. It only got 800,000
Jesus.
likes. But you and Nick were boys. When he left, he called you like his best friend. You were the one. He was the one guy that like Huda greenlight you, like telling Huda was a mom.
Yeah.
Basically to break it down for you, America feels like Ace was like the ringleader of like that
Yeah.
cliquey group of Nick and Taylor.
Yeah.
Nick certainly like had his moments, but like, clearly again, you're a great looking guy. You clearly like you seem to be independent. Like you're not a follower. It seemed like you made friends with the guys, but like you weren't like trying to be a clique. And it really
Yeah.
felt like we were watching a clique of men. And listen, like you got to like, you hooked up with Huda, whatever. Maybe you didn't like make the right moves, but whatever. And then like Andrina comes in, the bombshell, like
Yeah.
obviously a gorgeous woman. Like a lot of guys were attracted to her. Like she liked you. And it honestly felt like when they got a chance to like get the best competition off the island, because it's like you got first dibs and they were like getting leftovers. They took that chance, friend or not, and they voted your ass out. Like, do you see it any differently than America?
No, not at all. And it was when that happened, I got voted off. I wanted to just like, say my piece, but I was just like, I just wasn't the time to do that. And I'm not one to just talk shit about so and so. It was just like, it was honestly just more like not heartbreaking, but just like betrayal. Like y'all told me for 2 weeks to go and hoop. I start hooping. You know what I'm saying? I do the right things with Andreina. I'm like, we're doing friendship, best friends first. I'm doing, our values are finally lining up. And then they still kick me off. I was like, yeah, they're just not. Them's not my peoples, is all I can say. Them's not my peoples for real.
So, like, I guess with Nick, right? Like,
Yeah.
how quickly did you realize he wasn't the best friend that you thought he was early on? Like, how obvious was it to you that this was a very cliquey group of men?
Oh shit. Probably the first week, honestly. But the thing is, at the same time, we had so many good moments. Like they were so funny. So there'd be times where I'm like, the clique would kind of disband for a little bit, and then some shit would go down. It would get right back to it. And I'm like, fuck, I thought we were over this. And me and Nick had so many good chats about like our friendship and stuff outside of this. But at the end of the day, it was kind of just like Nick and Taylor just really, respectfully followed whatever Ace said. And yeah, that's the thing about, sorry, not off topic, but like Taylor never actually said anything to me about a lot of nothing. But then watching it back, he's had a lot to say, but about me, but not to me. So that would also caught me off guard because I didn't think he was like that. But yeah, long story short, I think I just wanted Nick to be, it was more one sided than I thought. Like I was like, that's my guy, but then his actions were showing otherwise, and I kind of was just like, at the end of the day, I was like, okay, bro.
How did you feel about Nick the next day after you left the island? Like said something like, well, like there's a lot of opportunity now, available.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was some reference to that. Like, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I knew what it was. Like he pulled me aside and tried to talk to me, and I was just being respectful because I knew if I snapped, I wouldn't have snapped. But like if I lost my cool, then I would have been boom, boom, boom. Like I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm not gonna lie, like the first 2 days I was gone, I was pretty pissed because I thought those were my guys. But then like the smart thing to do was vote me off because they seen I was hooping. Like, the bombshell came in, Andreina, she's drop dead gorgeous and hilarious, and we had a strong connection already. So they seen that and, decided to kick me out. So at the end of the day, it is a game show or a show. So they made the strategic move, but it still felt like betrayal.
Do you think it was like Nick and Ace that voted you off, or do you think Ace was really like the ringleader and really driving that conversation?
Oh man, it's so hard to say because Ace has always been like the ringleader driving the conversation. They kind of just like, yeah, he's right. So honestly, I don't know. It was probably all three of them. I knew there was a chance I was going to leave, but I didn't think it would be me above Austin or Pepe.
I thought it was Bush League that Taylor delivered the news. I thought at least Ace would be man enough to like stand up.
Yeah, exactly. That they couldn't even look. And another thing that pissed me off was that when Jalen and Charlie left, like they all came in the room and explained to them why they voted. But for me, all I got was it wasn't personal and I love you. Like I didn't get a single like man-to-man word of why they voted it.
There's some fan theories out there that because early on that actually Ace had the hots for Huda, and in the spirit of like the opposite of love is not hate. even though he seemed to be very opinionated about Huda. I guess there's some like Instagram likes. He's been liking her page. I don't know if it's people running his account or from, in the past. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, what do you have to say about the fans who think that like Ace kind of secretly has a thing for Huda?
I mean, he did kiss her during the blindfold challenge, so I can see that. And yeah, he just likes mess, which I get. But honestly, there could be truth to it, honestly, because he did kiss her for the blindfold thing. And I honestly think ever since I curved Yalissa with the cheek kiss and he got stole, that he ain't like me because he got stolen from Shelly and he likes Shelly. So maybe that's where it started.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, like he, if you're not going to follow Ace, he's not comfortable with you doing your own thing, and like, yeah, it was just clear that you did not need his approval, the way that Taylor and Nick seemed to need it, and that clearly rubbed him the wrong way. Do you think he will see that and reflect and own up to that when he gets out of the villa, or do you think he'll make some kind of excuse?
Honestly, I think he'll just say that I wasn't playing the game right or I wasn't doing Love Island right, and that's why he made the decisions he made. I think that's probably what he'll say.
Well, America knows it was his insecurity. So there's a lot of memes of Ace's feet not touching the ground floating around right now because they're mad that he sent you home. So if that makes you feel, I mean, you don't seem like a petty guy. We can be petty for you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, America is really they're being like called like the mean girls, Regina George, shit like that.
Crying. No, I get it. I definitely get the Mean Girls reference. That's definitely what it felt like at the end for sure.
Well, Ace, I really appreciate your time, man. Is there anything like I didn't get to ask you? I know you got to go, but like, is there any like final thought? Oh, I called you Ace. Fuck, man. I got Ace in my head. Fuck, Jeremiah. I can't thank you enough for your time, man. Sorry, I got Ace's like little feet just like in my mind dangling. I've seen too many memes of that guy.
Oh, great.
Final thoughts, man. Just what can you leave us with? What if I didn't get to ask you anything that you want to make sure you get the word out? Like now's the time.
Yeah, well, I would say first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. This is like my first like doing anything like this, and so like thank you for just like you've been nothing but welcoming and like it generally feel like a conversation with the bro. So I want to thank you for that. To the Love Island team, crew, cast, like everybody was just phenomenal to work with. Like it was truly one of the most like just like not life changing, but just like once in a lifetime opportunities ever. So I just want to thank them for everything. And I wish nobody in the villa is still the best, even though you did me dirty. I wish you the best. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's next.
All right, man. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. You seem like a really stand-up guy who's like willing to look in the mirror and always make changes. I really appreciate your time. Do you think, one like final question, do you think there's any couple right now that is currently existing that you has a chance of ending up together and winning Love Island?
Oh man, honestly, I think that it was gonna be Pepe and Hannah, but I guess right now I think Taylor and Alandria have a good shot. At the end of the day, I think they have a good shot.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
All right, Jeremiah, I appreciate you. Oh, plug your socials so people can like follow you if they're not following you already. Like,
I get to do this now. This is crazy,
yeah, man.
I'm plugging myself. My Instagram and TikTok are at Find Jeremiah.
All right. Well, follow Jeremiah. Thanks again, man. I appreciate you and wishing you nothing but the best, brother.
Likewise. Thank you, Nick.
Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.